You cannot
Gorgeous,
hide
I
in this
whispered when the
wasteland
alien
forever.
princess removed her helmet and approached
Return
me.
with us now, and
Stars
your
glittered
lives will
like
be
diamonds on
spared.
black silk, and every now and then a distant planet glowed faintly in the distance. Lieutenant Aaron Kale leaned back in his seat, feeling both nervous and excited. This mission was unlike anything humans had attempted before. They were about to meet an intelligent alien species for the first time, the Ilari. The Ilari were known across the galaxy for their mystery and precision. Very little was known about them, except that they had an advanced civilization, unique culture, and a royal family that rarely communicated with outsiders. Humanity had only discovered them recently, and now Aaron, a skilled linguist and cultural envoy, was chosen to represent humans. "Aaron, you look tense," said Captain Laura Hayes, standing beside him in her crisp uniform. "Remember, they judge by behavior, not words. Stay calm. Show respect and try not to gawk." Aaron smiled nervously. "Right, I can do that. Calm, respectful, no gawking." He rubbed his temples. Being calm was easy to say, but seeing a real alien princess, that was a different challenge entirely. Stories from the Galactic Council describe the Ilari royalty as dignified, wise, and beautiful beyond human imagination. Aaron tried to picture them, but all images fell short. The shuttle docked smoothly with the Ilari flagship, a massive structure that floated like a jewel in space. Its surface shimmered with strange light patterns, moving and changing like liquid metal. Aaron stepped out onto the docking bay, taking careful steps. The Ilari greeted them formally, their movements precise and synchronized. A tall figure approached, every eye in the human delegation turned instinctively. Even Aaron's heartbeat quickened. She wore a flowing suit of silvery material that seemed alive with light. Her helmet, reflective and smooth, covered her entire head. No human had ever looked so mysterious. The Ilari princess did not speak immediately. She simply observed, tilting her head slightly as though studying each human. The silence was thick but not hostile. Aaron felt a strange pull toward her. He remembered the advice Captain Hayes had given: show respect, stay calm, don't gaw. He chuckled quietly in his mind. Too late, he was already gawking. The princess moved closer, her steps graceful and silent. Aaron noticed subtle differences in her physiology. Her movements were more fluid than human motions, almost as if she flowed with the air around her. Other delegates whispered quietly, exchanging careful observations. Some admired her elegance, others studied her with scientific curiosity. Then came the moment no one had expected. In a slow, deliberate motion, she lifted her hands to her helmet and removed it. Aaron's breath caught. There she was. Her face, delicate yet strong, radiated intelligence and curiosity. Her skin had a faint luminescent glow, soft and warm. Her eyes, larger than human eyes but filled with emotion, locked onto his. She smiled faintly, and the corners of her eyes crinkled in a way that seemed deeply human. "Gorgeous," Aaron whispered, almost without thinking. Immediately he slapped a hand over his mouth, realizing he had spoken aloud. But it was too late. Some of the other humans had noticed, their eyes widening, and Aaron felt his face flush. The princess tilted her head slightly, a small smile playing on her lips. She did not seem offended. If anything, she seemed curious. Aaron's nervousness intensified, but he tried to focus. This was a first encounter, and every gesture counted. The chief Ilari diplomat stepped forward, bowing gracefully. "Welcome, humans. We are honored by your presence. You will find our people disciplined, yet curious. Observe carefully and learn respectfully." Aaron nodded, his mind racing. He had read hundreds of reports about alien diplomacy, but nothing could prepare him for this. Every gesture of the princess seemed intentional, meaningful, and yet impossible to fully understand. He realized that humans, with all their adaptability, had much to learn from the Ilari, and perhaps the reverse was true as well. The princess motioned for the humans to follow her. Aaron and his team trailed behind, stepping onto the main observation deck. The room was enormous, circular, and filled with strange devices. A vast viewport showed the galaxy in stunning clarity, planets and stars drifting slowly. The Ilari had mastered observation technology far beyond human capabilities. "Beautiful," Aaron murmured under his breath, trying to focus on the task at hand rather than the overwhelming view. The princess spoke softly, in a language that seemed like music. Aaron's earpiece translated it in real time. "Humans, your species is small in the galaxy, yet you reach for the stars with courage. That is admirable." Aaron blinked. She was speaking to him personally. His heart raced. He cleared his throat, replying carefully, "Thank you, Princess." Humanity, we believe in exploration, in understanding, in connecting with others. We come in peace and with curiosity. The princess nodded, tilting her head slightly. Curiosity is a powerful trait. It can lead to greatness or to danger. Aaron swallowed. He knew that humans had been cautious in their exploration, but the princess's words reminded him how fragile their position was in a galaxy full of unknown threats. She led them to a smaller chamber filled with holographic displays. Stars, planets, and data streams floated in the air, all controllable with simple gestures. The Ilari were showing humans how they navigated the galaxy, how they mapped unknown systems, and how they tracked potential threats. Aaron watched, fascinated. "We can learn so much from them," he whispered to a fellow envoy. "Yes," the envoy replied, equally awed, "and they are learning from us too, I think." The princess turned back to Aaron. "Your species is bold, reckless at times, but clever. I see potential." Perhaps potential for more. Aaron felt a mix of pride and humility. Bold, yes. Clever, maybe. But the word potential carried weight. It meant the Ilari were watching, evaluating, and deciding if humans were worthy partners. They spent hours touring the ship, observing technology, and engaging in careful conversation. Aaron noticed small details. The way the princess's eyes followed his movements, the slight tilt of her head when he spoke, and the subtle smiles she offered when humans demonstrated ingenuity. When the tour ended, they returned to the main observation deck. Stars swirled in the vastness outside the viewport, endless and beautiful. Aaron felt a sudden kinship with the universe, as if humans and the Ilari were both tiny threads in the same cosmic tapestry. The princess spoke again, softly. "Tomorrow we will continue your education of our culture. You will see our rituals, our customs, and our art. Observe carefully, engage respectfully." Aaron bowed slightly, as was proper. "We will, Princess. Thank you for your guidance." As she turned to leave, Aaron watched her movements, graceful, fluid, and yet unmistakably alive. He realized that humans had traveled far, but encounters like this reminded him that the galaxy was full of wonders they had barely begun to understand. That night, as the human delegation slept aboard their temporary quarters on the Ilari ship, Aaron stayed by the viewport, staring at the stars. Thoughts of the princess and her serene, confident presence filled his mind. He couldn't stop thinking about her smile, her eyes, and the way she carried herself with dignity and curiosity. He whispered quietly, almost to himself, "Gorgeous!" The words hung in the empty room, a small human admission in a vast and mysterious galaxy. And somewhere the princess, in her private quarters, looked out at the same stars, thinking of the humans' unpredictable bravery. In that moment, two species, so different yet strangely similar, began a connection that would change the course of history. The galaxy was watching. Aaron did not know what the future would hold, but he knew one thing. Humanity's journey among the stars had truly begun. The next morning, the human delegation gathered in a large chamber aboard the Ilari flagship. Sunlight, or something like sunlight, filtered through the curved ceiling, glowing softly. The room was vast, with smooth walls that shimmered like liquid metal. Holographic displays floated in midair, showing stars, planets, and constellations unfamiliar to human eyes. Lieutenant Aaron Kale adjusted his uniform nervously. Yesterday's encounter with the princess had left him both awed and anxious. He wondered how he would behave today. The princess had promised a deeper look into Ilari culture, a rare opportunity for humans. He knew that every gesture, every word mattered. "Remember, Aaron," Captain Hayes whispered, leaning over. "This isn't just sightseeing. They are watching you closely. Your reactions, your choices, even your curiosity, it all counts." "I know," Aaron replied, taking a deep breath. "I just hope I don't embarrass humanity in front of the entire galaxy." A faint laugh escaped from him, but he quickly regained composure. Just then, the chamber doors opened, and the Ilari princess entered, moving with the same fluid grace as yesterday. She wore a lighter version of her ceremonial suit, and her helmet was, of course, removed. Her luminous eyes scanned the humans, and she offered a small, polite smile. "Good morning, humans," she said in a melodic voice. "Today you will see what our people value most. You will learn and you may teach. Let curiosity guide you, but remember, respect is required." Aaron stepped forward carefully. "Thank you, Princess. We are eager to learn and to share as well." She inclined her head slightly, as if acknowledging his words. Then she gestured toward a set of floating displays. With a graceful motion, she activated a projection of a distant planet, its surface covered with swirling colors and patterns. "This is Alaris," she said. "It is our home world. Here we cultivate knowledge, art, and exploration. You will see the importance of balance between understanding and creation." Aaron and his team moved closer, observing the intricate projections. The planet's surface seemed alive, with shifting colors representing energy flows, weather patterns, and cultural sites. Aaron was fascinated. Humans had mapped many planets, but nothing compared to the clarity and depth of this visualization. The princess noticed his interest. "Humans," she said, "you value physical tools and machines. We value precision, thought, and harmony with our surroundings. Yet both methods seek understanding. Perhaps your creativity can blend with our precision." Aaron nodded. "We can learn a lot from each other." She gestured for him to follow. The humans were led through a series of chambers, each designed to showcase a different aspect of Elari life. The first chamber displayed music, but not in the form humans expected. Light and sound were intertwined. Patterns of glowing strands floated in the air, vibrating in response to the princess's subtle gestures. The result was a harmonious symphony that seemed to touch every sense. Aaron watched, entranced. "It's beautiful," he whispered. The princess smiled faintly. "Your species expresses emotion through sound alone. We integrate many senses. Observe carefully. Can you replicate the experience?" Aaron hesitated. The idea of combining movement, touch, and sound seemed impossible at first. Yet human curiosity demanded an attempt. He reached out and mimicked one of the gestures, causing a small strand of light to vibrate. The princess's eyes widened slightly in surprise. "Interesting," she said. "You adapt quickly. Creativity is your strength. You may lack some precision, but your imagination is unpredictable and powerful." Aaron felt a flush of pride. He realized that humanity's greatest asset was not their technology alone, but their ability to improvise, to think differently, and to connect emotionally with others. Next, they moved to a chamber dedicated to art. The walls were blank, but as soon as the humans stepped inside, holographic brushes appeared, floating in the air. The princess gestured, and streams of light began to swirl, forming abstract shapes and landscapes. "Humans," she said, "create through material and effort. We create through thought and resonance. Try it." Aaron tentatively extended his hand. To his surprise, colors responded to his touch. Each motion created streaks of light, shifting into patterns that were unlike anything he had seen. He felt exhilarated. It was like painting with the stars themselves. The princess observed closely. "You are daring. You are unafraid to make mistakes. That is rare." Aaron laughed. "Mistakes are how humans learn. Sometimes we stumble, but we adapt." "Yes," she said softly, "that may be your greatest power." After art came culinary experiments, strange for humans to think of in space, but the Elari had a way of using food as expression. Ingredients floated midair and responded to gestures, combining in ways that delighted the senses. Humans were encouraged to experiment, and though some results were unappetizing, the princess laughed lightly at their efforts. "I admire your willingness," she said. "Even when the result is imperfect, your spirit is true." Aaron realized that each chamber was not just a display of culture, but a test. The Elari wanted to see how humans would approach new experiences, with fear, caution, or bold curiosity. Humans were proving their strength through courage, creativity, and openness. As the day progressed, subtle tensions emerged. The princess paused, looking thoughtful. "There are those among other species who question your place here. They fear your unpredictability, your speed of learning, your ambition. Some even wish to prevent your growth." Aaron's stomach tightened. "We come with respect and curiosity. We don't wish harm." "Intentions matter less than outcomes," the princess said, her voice serious. "But today you have shown that humans are capable of harmony, not only with each other, but with knowledge and creation. That is promising." Later, they were led to a quiet observation deck, overlooking a swirling nebula. The humans had a chance to rest, but Aaron could not stop thinking about the princess. She was enigmatic, radiant, and intelligent, yet there was something deeply human about the way she looked at the world. He realized that human traits, curiosity, empathy, and adaptability were being recognized and valued even by a species so different. The princess joined him at the window. "Your species has potential," she said softly. "I have observed humans for only a short time, yet you surprise me. You adapt, you feel, you think beyond what is required. That is rare. Aaron's heart raced. Thank you, Princess. Humanity will rise to the challenge. We will continue learning and contributing wherever we go. She nodded, then looked out at the nebula. The galaxy is vast, full of beauty and danger. You have chosen to step forward. That is commendable. But remember, curiosity must be guided by wisdom and courage tempered by understanding. The human delegation gathered for dinner, where conversations flowed in careful translations. The princess remained near Aaron, asking questions about human life, culture, and philosophy. She listened intently, occasionally smiling at the quirks of human expression. One moment stood out. Aaron explained how humans celebrated milestones, birthdays, achievements, and personal victories. The princess tilted her head. Your species marks time and moments rather than cycles of nature. Interesting. Your celebrations, they honor individual experience. That is unlike us who honor collective memory and shared purpose. Aaron smiled. Humans value individuality and connection. Sometimes we fail, but we try to support each other. It shapes who we are. The princess regarded him quietly. You are honest. That is rare among diplomats. You have shown courage, curiosity, and heart. These are traits worth noting. As the evening concluded, the humans were led back to their quarters. Aaron felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. They had learned so much, yet he sensed there was more to come. The princess had subtly guided them through a journey of observation, expression, and adaptation. Alone, Aaron stood by his window, looking at the endless stars. He whispered softly, almost to himself, "We are small, but we are capable." Somewhere across the ship, the princess looked at the same stars, reflecting on humans' boldness and ingenuity. Two species, so different yet strangely aligned, were beginning a connection that could change the galaxy. Aaron could not yet know the challenges ahead: political intrigue, rival species, and dangers lurking in the depths of space. But for now, the humans had taken their first steps toward understanding, and the Ilari had begun to recognize the value of human traits: imagination, courage, and heart. And in that quiet, shared observation of the stars, a bond, fragile yet promising, had begun to form. The day began quietly aboard the Ilari flagship, but Aaron Kale felt an uneasy tension in the air. The events of the previous day, the cultural exchanges, the demonstrations of human curiosity and creativity, had gone well, but there was an underlying warning in the princess's words. Other species, she had said, feared humans. And fear, as history often showed, could turn to hostility. Aaron's comm device beeped softly. Captain Hayes's face appeared on the screen, her expression serious. "Aaron, we've received some troubling intelligence," she said. "A faction from the neighboring star systems, the Vorin, may try to sabotage the upcoming interstellar summit. Their goal is to discredit humanity, to make the Ilari doubt our worth." Aaron's stomach tightened. "Sabotage? How?" "They haven't confirmed the method yet, but they are cunning. We need to remain alert, especially around the princess and the summit delegates. Your role is critical." Aaron nodded. He understood the stakes. This was no longer just cultural exchange. Humanity's place in the galaxy depended on their ability to act wisely and decisively. He stepped into the main observation deck, where the princess was already studying a holographic map of nearby star systems. The gentle hum of the ship's energy filled the room, and the stars outside glimmered like countless watchful eyes. "Princess," Aaron said, "I need to speak with you about a potential threat. Other species may try to interfere with the summit." Her eyes, calm yet piercing, studied him. "I am aware, Aaron. Some delegates distrust humans, some fear your boldness, but the nature of the threat is unclear. We must proceed with caution." Together, they reviewed the galactic maps. Aaron pointed to clusters of systems with irregular communications patterns. "We've noticed strange signals and gaps in data. It could be preliminary reconnaissance or worse." The princess nodded. "Intelligence alone is insufficient. You must think creatively." "Humans are resourceful. Show me how your species can adapt." Aaron felt a surge of determination. Humans had always thrived in uncertainty, using ingenuity to solve impossible problems. He would not fail. Over the next hours, Aaron and the princess worked closely. He monitored incoming data, interpreting irregular signals and predicting possible attack points. Using human intuition and Ilari analytical tools, they began to map likely targets of sabotage. "Here," Aaron said, pointing to a transport hub on the ship. "Communications are weak." A disruption here could spread confusion quickly. If they target it, it could delay the summit or even endanger delegates. The princess raised her luminous eyes. A logical deduction, but your species would need more than logic. Creativity, foresight, and courage, these are your tools. Aaron smiled faintly. Then let's use them. He devised a subtle plan. Using the ship's existing security systems, he created decoy signals to confuse potential intruders. He also recommended relocating sensitive communications to hidden channels, invisible to anyone not authorized. The princess observed each step with quiet approval. "Impressive," she said. "Humans act quickly, adapt rapidly, and think unconventionally. These traits are unusual yet valuable." Their preparations were soon tested. During a routine system check, the sensors detected an unidentified object approaching the flagship. It was moving with precision, almost as if it knew the ship's patrol routes. Aaron's pulse quickened. "That's fast and stealthy. Someone is watching us. This could be the beginning of the sabotage." The princess's expression remained calm. "We will not panic. Alert the security teams discreetly. Observe without aggression." Humans often act recklessly, but this is the moment for careful action. Aaron's mind raced. Using a combination of human problem-solving and the Ilari's advanced technology, he initiated a countermeasure. Holographic decoys projected multiple false targets around the ship, while subtle sensor distortions masked the true positions of the delegates and vital systems. The approaching vessel reacted instantly, attempting to recalibrate its approach. But every time it adjusted, Aaron's decoys misled it. The ship's movement became erratic, and eventually it retreated, unable to penetrate the defenses. The princess regarded Aaron with a small, approving smile. "Your species adapts under pressure." Quick thinking, creativity, and courage, these qualities saved the summit before it even began. Aaron exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and pride. Humanity's ingenuity had turned potential disaster into a demonstration of strength. He realized that being underestimated was humanity's secret advantage. Other species expected predictable behavior, but humans thrived in uncertainty. Later, the princess invited him to a quiet chamber overlooking a binary star system. The twin suns bathed the room in soft, golden light. "You have shown me that humans are more than they seem," she said, her voice calm and melodic. "Your species possesses traits we did not anticipate: rapid problem-solving, emotional intuition, and courage tempered with empathy. These qualities are remarkable." Aaron felt honored, but he remained humble. "We are still learning, Princess. Humans make mistakes and we can fail, but we try to adapt and we try to act with respect and understanding." The princess tilted her head thoughtfully. "It is your adaptability that may define your species. Many civilizations rely on strength or control. You rely on creativity, courage, and heart. That is rare." Aaron glanced at the stars beyond the viewport. "We may be small in the galaxy, but we have the potential to contribute to make a difference." The princess's eyes glimmered faintly. "Yes, potential. That is why I watch, why I test, why I observe." "You are not only brave, but also unpredictable in ways that can change the course of events. That is valuable in this vast galaxy." Their conversation was interrupted by an alert. Another unidentified object had appeared on sensors, this time near a strategic communications hub aboard the ship. Aaron moved quickly, coordinating with the ship's security teams and overlaying human-inspired improvisational tactics onto Ilari protocols. The object attempted to bypass automated defenses, but Aaron anticipated its trajectory, using a combination of predictive analysis and unconventional maneuvers. The intruder's approach was blocked without a single human or Ilari system compromised. The princess observed quietly, clearly impressed. "Your species' ingenuity is remarkable. You think outside predictable patterns. That quality may allow humanity to thrive among the stars." Aaron felt a surge of pride. Humans had been underestimated, yet here they were, proving themselves capable of intelligence, creativity, and courage that even the advanced Ilari could admire. As the day drew to a close, the princess requested a private discussion. They returned to the observation deck, overlooking a dense nebula swirling with color and light. "Aaron," she said softly, "your actions today have shown that humans are capable of more than we imagined. You acted decisively, yet thoughtfully. You adapted to unexpected threats, and you protected both your species and ours. That is commendable. Aaron felt his heart beat faster. Thank you, Princess. Humanity strives to survive, to learn, and to contribute. We will continue to prove ourselves. She smiled faintly, her gaze distant yet focused. Indeed, your species possesses qualities that may shape the galaxy in ways even we cannot predict. Adaptability, creativity, courage, empathy, these are your strengths. Remember them and trust them. Aaron looked at the stars outside. The galaxy seemed vast, full of wonder and danger, yet he felt a deep sense of purpose. Humanity was small, yes, but capable of extraordinary things. They had faced the first real test among the stars and passed. The princess placed a delicate hand on the console beside him. Tomorrow, the summit begins. You must be vigilant, but you must also show your true nature. Do not hide what makes your species unique. Courage, curiosity, creativity, these are gifts. Use them wisely. Aaron nodded, feeling a renewed sense of responsibility. The summit would test diplomacy, trust, and courage. But he knew that humans had already demonstrated their value, not through strength alone, but through ingenuity, heart, and the ability to act when it mattered most. As the ship glided silently among the stars, Aaron whispered to himself, "We are humans. We learn, we adapt, we endure, and we rise." Somewhere on the ship, the princess watched the same stars, reflecting on humans' boldness and resourcefulness. She had seen courage, creativity, and unpredictability, traits that could shift the balance of power and shape the galaxy's future. In that moment, two species, different yet connected, stood at the edge of a new era. Humanity had faced the first challenge among the stars, and their ingenuity had ensured that they would not be underestimated again. The galaxy was watching. And humanity had begun to shine. The day after the attempted sabotage, the human delegation awoke to a quiet tension aboard the Ilari flagship. The summit was only hours away, yet Aaron Kale could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on him. The events of the previous day had proven humanity's value to the Ilari, but there were still unknown challenges ahead. The princess approached him in the observation deck, her luminescent eyes calm and steady. "Aaron," she said, her voice soft but deliberate, "I wish to show you something few outsiders have ever seen. It is a part of our culture, our history, and our essence. You must observe carefully, for it is not merely for the eyes, it is for understanding." Aaron felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "I am honored, Princess. We are ready to learn." She gestured for him to follow. The corridor they walked through shimmered with subtle light, responding to their movements. Aaron noted that the ship seemed almost alive, its systems aware of the beings moving through it. The princess led him to a concealed chamber deep within the ship. The door opened silently, revealing a room unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. It was circular, vast, and bathed in a gentle, warm glow. In the center floated a holographic representation of the galaxy, stars and systems spinning slowly, interconnected by lines of light. "This chamber is called the Hall of Resonance," the princess explained. "Here we preserve knowledge, memory, and connection. Each of our people contributes to it, sharing experience, emotion, and understanding. It is both a record and a tool." Aaron's eyes widened. "It's beautiful, and it's alive in a way." "Yes," she said, her gaze steady. "It responds to thought, to emotion, to intent. Only those who understand balance and focus can interact with it fully. Humans may struggle at first, but perhaps your species, adaptability, will succeed." She extended her hand, and Aaron hesitated only a moment before following her example. As his fingers brushed the holographic display, he felt a subtle connection. Colors shifted, patterns rearranged themselves, and images formed, depicting the history of the Ilari, their migrations, discoveries, and triumphs. "Focus, Aaron," the princess said softly. "Let your mind align with your intentions. The hall will respond to sincerity, creativity, and clarity." Aaron concentrated, thinking not only of his actions, but of humanity's goals, hopes, and curiosity. To his surprise, the display responded. Streams of light swirled around him, forming shapes that seemed to resonate with human imagination. The princess watched closely. "Remarkable," she said. "Your mind is flexible, your intentions pure. You adapt quickly to new experiences. That is a rare quality, and it may define your species' future among the stars." As they moved deeper into the chamber, the princess explained the significance of the rituals. The Ilari did not only record history, they engaged with it. Through thought and guided action, they connected with the essence of their people, experiencing collective memory and wisdom. Aaron felt humbled. Humanity had relied on individual memory, technology, and written records. The Elari had taken understanding to another level entirely, and yet humans were proving that they could participate in their own way. A sudden alert interrupted their exploration. A small malfunction in the hall had triggered a containment warning. The energy streams forming the holographic galaxy began to destabilize, shifting erratically. "Aaron," the princess said, her voice calm but urgent, "we must act quickly. The hall's systems are delicate. Improper handling could disrupt centuries of knowledge." Aaron's mind raced. "What can I do to help?" "Focus your intent," the princess instructed. "Do not force control, guide, adapt, and harmonize." He extended his hands carefully, trying to mimic the gestures she had shown. Colors pulsed, streams of light shifted, and for a moment nothing happened. But then the patterns began to stabilize, responding to his adjustments. Aaron's heart raced as he realized that human adaptability, our ability to improvise under pressure, was exactly what the hall needed. The malfunction corrected itself slowly, and the energy streams returned to their previous harmony. The princess observed him quietly, her eyes glimmering faintly. "You have done well," she said. "Humans often rely on trial and error, but your mind balances creativity with focus." That balance saved the hall. Aaron felt a sense of pride mixed with relief. The experience had shown him that humans were not only capable of understanding alien technology and culture, they could excel in ways the Elari had not anticipated. "Princess," he said, still catching his breath, I didn't expect to interact with something so alive. It's incredible," she nodded. "Few outsiders have succeeded as you have. This experience is a test and a gift. You see not only our history, but our values. Wisdom, balance, creativity, and courage are the foundations of our people. You have demonstrated similar traits, and that is noteworthy." As the chamber quieted, the princess gestured to a smaller holographic projection, a map of nearby star systems with subtle markers indicating points of interest. "These are areas where diplomacy, exploration, and cooperation are most needed," she explained. "Many species distrust each other. Conflicts arise from misunderstanding, fear, and ambition. Humans, by virtue of your creativity and empathy, may bridge gaps others cannot." Aaron nodded. "We will do our best. Humanity seeks understanding, not conflict." The princess's expression softened slightly. "Your species has potential, Aaron, but potential must be tested, guided, and refined. You are at the beginning of a journey that may span generations. What you do now and how you learn will shape humanity's place in the galaxy." Aaron took a deep breath, realizing the weight of her words. The Hall of Resonance was more than a record of history. It was a symbol of responsibility. Humanity's future depended not only on exploration and discovery, but also on how they chose to act with wisdom and courage. The princess led him to a quiet corner of the chamber, where a smaller, intricate holographic model floated. It depicted the interconnections between species, showing patterns of alliances, conflicts, and trade. "Observe carefully," she instructed. "Even subtle actions can have great consequences. Humans often act quickly and boldly. That is admirable, but you must also learn foresight and patience." Aaron studied the model intently. He noticed patterns of diplomacy, areas where small gestures of goodwill had resolved conflicts, and places where misunderstanding had caused long-lasting tension. "Humans can make a difference," he whispered, more to himself than to her. "Yes," the princess said quietly. "But difference comes with responsibility. You have shown courage and ingenuity, but now you must learn the value of subtlety, patience, and understanding. Only then will your species' potential be realized." For hours, they explored the hall, learning its systems and observing the legacy of the Elari. Aaron began to understand that the galaxy was far more interconnected than humans had imagined. Actions, even small ones, could ripple across systems, influencing events and alliances. At one point, the princess paused near a display of distant worlds. "These planets are fragile," she said. "Civilizations rise and fall, knowledge is preserved, but the mistakes of the past remain as warnings. Humanity must learn from these patterns." Aaron nodded. "We will. We will try to do better, to adapt, and to contribute positively." The princess smiled faintly. "Your species has not yet faced the full challenges of the galaxy. But your actions today, your willingness to adapt, and your courage under pressure suggest that humans may endure, and even thrive, where others might fail." As the tour of the hall concluded, the princess led Aaron to a quiet observation deck. Nebulae and distant stars painted the sky with colors beyond human imagination. The hum of the ship was gentle, almost comforting. "You have seen our past, Aaron," she said softly. "You have interacted with our history, our culture, and our legacy. You have proven that humans possess qualities that can complement our own. That is rare and it is valuable." Aaron looked at the stars, feeling a deep sense of connection to humanity, to the Elari, and to the galaxy itself. "Thank you, Princess. We will continue learning, exploring, and adapting. Humanity will rise to the challenges ahead." She regarded him quietly, her expression unreadable but thoughtful. "Indeed, but remember this, courage, curiosity, and ingenuity alone are not enough. Wisdom, patience, and empathy must guide them. You have glimpsed our secrets, Aaron, and you have proven worthy so far. Continue to honor that trust." Aaron nodded solemnly. The weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders, but it was accompanied by hope and determination. Humans had begun to demonstrate their value, and the bond between him and the princess had grown, not through romance or personal attachment, but through mutual respect, admiration, and shared purpose. As the stars outside shifted and shimmered, Aaron realized that the galaxy was full of mysteries and challenges. Humanity's journey was only beginning, but their courage, adaptability, and heart would be tested and recognized in ways they had never imagined. And somewhere across the ship, the princess observed the stars as well, reflecting on humans' resilience and ingenuity. A connection had formed between two species, one that could shape the future of the galaxy, built on mutual respect, curiosity, and the understanding that differences could be strengths rather than weaknesses. In that moment, Aaron knew that the lessons of the Hall of Resonance would stay with him forever. Humanity's journey was not only about exploration or technology. It was about courage, creativity, understanding, and the wisdom to use them wisely. The galaxy waited, vast and full of opportunity, and humanity had taken another bold step forward. The day of the interstellar summit had arrived. The Elari flagship was abuzz with activity as representatives from dozens of species gathered to discuss trade, diplomacy, and exploration. The atmosphere was tense but orderly, with every gesture and word carefully observed. Lieutenant Aaron Kale adjusted his uniform and checked his notes one last time. The previous days had tested humanity's ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Now the real challenge awaited, demonstrating that humans were not only capable of surviving among advanced civilizations, but that they could contribute meaningfully to the galaxy's future. Captain Hayes placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Remember, Aaron, today is about showing who we are. Trust yourself and trust humanity's strengths." Aaron nodded. "We've prepared, let's do this." The summit hall was vast, circular, and illuminated by soft, ambient light. Holographic tables floated in the center, displaying data streams, trade routes, and interstellar maps. Delegates from various species took their seats, each representing a different culture, perspective, and agenda. The Elari princess, radiant and calm, entered the hall, followed closely by Aaron. The other delegates observed him carefully. Some seemed skeptical, others curious. The Vorin faction, the same group that had attempted sabotage days earlier, watched with thinly veiled suspicion. The princess raised her hand and the room quieted. "Welcome, representatives of the galaxy," she said in her melodic voice. "We gather here to share knowledge, explore possibilities, and ensure peace and cooperation. Let all species present act with respect and integrity." Aaron's heart raced, but he stepped forward confidently. "I speak on behalf of humanity," he began. "We are a species that values curiosity, creativity, and cooperation. We seek to understand others, to learn from them, and to contribute positively to the galaxy. We may be new among you, but our intentions are sincere and our commitment is strong." There was a moment of silence. Some delegates whispered, others nodded subtly. The Vorin representatives narrowed their eyes, skeptical but attentive. Aaron continued. "Humans have faced challenges on our home world that required courage, adaptation, and ingenuity. These qualities have shaped who we are. We bring not only technology, but also creativity, empathy, and a willingness to collaborate. We hope to join this galaxy not as conquerors, but as partners, explorers, and friends." The princess regarded him with a faint smile, her luminous eyes conveying approval. "Your words reflect the truth I have observed. Humans are capable, adaptable, and courageous. You must remember that these qualities are not weaknesses, they are strengths. A Vorin delegate finally spoke, his voice sharp and measured. Your species is untested among us. Words are easy, but actions are harder. How do we know humans can maintain diplomacy under pressure? Aaron took a deep breath. By learning from every experience and by acting with integrity, humanity adapts. We analyze, we empathize, and we strive to find solutions where others see only problems. Our actions over the past days, working with the Elari, resolving unexpected challenges, and protecting critical systems, demonstrate that we are capable of more than words can express. The room was silent again, this time with a sense of growing respect. Even the Vorin seemed to pause, considering his words carefully. The princess nodded approvingly. Let this be a moment of clarity. Strength comes not only from technology or power, but from courage, adaptability, and understanding. Humanity embodies these traits, as I have observed firsthand. The summit proceeded with discussions on trade routes, scientific collaboration, and cultural exchanges. Aaron and the human delegation contributed actively, suggesting innovative ideas for joint exploration missions, knowledge sharing, and resource management. Their proposals were practical, yet creative, blending human imagination with the Elari's precision. At one point, a sudden system alert disrupted communications in the hall. The delegates paused, concerned. Sensors indicated a potential interference originating from the Vorin sector, a subtle but deliberate attempt to disrupt proceedings. Aaron acted quickly. Drawing on his previous experiences, he coordinated with Elari engineers to reroute communications, establish secure channels, and maintain transparency for the delegates. The interference was neutralized within moments, unnoticed by most of the hall thanks to the combined human-Elari effort. The princess glanced at him, her eyes expressing both pride and relief. Quick thinking, adaptability, and courage under pressure, she said softly. This is why humans are valuable. You rise when challenges appear. The summit resumed smoothly. Delegates began to acknowledge human proposals, asking questions, offering feedback, and showing genuine interest. The Vorin representatives, though reluctant, had to recognize that humans had not only survived their scrutiny, but had also improved the efficiency and clarity of discussions. As the summit drew toward conclusion, the princess stood beside Aaron. You have proven that your species can contribute meaningfully. Your courage, creativity, and adaptability are qualities that will allow humanity to thrive among others in this galaxy. Aaron felt a surge of pride, tempered with humility. Thank you, princess. Humanity will continue to learn, adapt, and act with respect and responsibility. We hope to be partners, not only allies. The summit concluded with formal agreements, collaboration plans, and an atmosphere of cautious optimism. Humans were no longer seen as inexperienced newcomers. They were recognized as intelligent, capable, and adaptable participants in the galactic community. Later, in a quieter chamber, the princess and Aaron observed a holographic representation of the galaxy, now dotted with connections between species, alliances, and shared projects. See these lines? She asked, pointing to streams of light connecting planets and civilizations. These are the pathways of cooperation, understanding, and trust. Humans now have a place among them. Your species, courage, and creativity have earned respect. Aaron nodded. It's incredible to think that humanity is now part of something so vast and interconnected. The princess smiled faintly. Your species' potential is only beginning. Curiosity, courage, and creativity are valuable traits, but they must always be guided by wisdom and empathy. Remember that. Aaron looked out at the stars beyond the viewport, feeling a sense of awe. He realized that humans had come a long way, from a single planet to participating in interstellar diplomacy, making a difference not by force but by ingenuity and heart. That's humanity, he whispered softly. We adapt, we learn, we rise. The princess turned her gaze to him, her expression unreadable but thoughtful. Yes, you have seen, felt, and acted in ways that prove your species' value. Trust in that, and trust that your curiosity, courage, and creativity will guide you well. The human delegation gathered later that evening to celebrate the successful summit. Delegates from other species approached, offering congratulations, exchanging ideas, and sharing stories. Aaron and his team felt a sense of belonging they had never experienced before. Humanity had earned recognition not by domination or conquest, but through adaptability, courage, and the willingness to act with integrity. As the celebration continued, Aaron found a quiet moment on the observation deck, looking at the galaxy spread before him. The nebulae glowed with colors humans had never named, stars sparkled like jewels, and distant planets beckoned with mystery. The princess appeared beside him, her presence calm and reassuring. "Humans have begun their journey among the stars," she said softly. "You have shown courage, creativity, and adaptability. These traits will guide you through challenges yet to come." Aaron smiled, feeling both pride and humility. "We've learned much, and we will continue to learn. Humanity's journey is just beginning," she nodded. "Indeed. But remember this, every action, every choice contributes to the story of your species. Choose wisely, act bravely, and remain curious. The galaxy rewards those who do." The stars outside shimmered, endless and full of promise. Aaron realized that humanity's place in the galaxy was not guaranteed by strength alone. It was earned through courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to act when it mattered most. He whispered quietly, almost to himself, "Humanity will rise and shine." The princess glanced at him, a faint smile gracing her features. "Yes, it will, and you have shown that even in the smallest actions, humans can make a difference." In that quiet moment, the galaxy seemed less vast, less intimidating. Humanity had proven itself, earned respect, and begun a legacy among the stars. Aaron felt a deep sense of purpose, knowing that humans had begun a journey that would span generations, guided by courage, curiosity, and heart. And somewhere across the galaxy, other species were beginning to see humanity not as chaotic newcomers, but as partners, innovators, and friends. The galaxy was watching, and humanity shone brightly.